The more I talk about it being broken, it's not going to change, right? What about the things that have worked in the system? So I just want to point that out because the hospital has kept her safe. I've formed a relationship with the providers somewhat. I think they are taking care of her to the best of their ability. They've got a lot of people to take care of. Anyone who's in that position has got to care because, let's face it, that is not a fun position to be in. Anybody who works in that unit is not having fun. Good morning. I've got my coffee and this video is a little different because it is not my morning commute. And the reason for that is we have a discharge meeting today with the hospital. My daughter, her dad, and I will be on the phone, and I believe two of the providers at the house. It sounds like it's going to be a conference call on the phone, which So my original plan was to go to the hospital and attend the meeting, but apparently my daughter does not want me there, and nor does she want her father there. She doesn't want either of us involved, which makes me a little nervous because when she acts like that, it's usually when she's not in her best frame of mind. But a recap, if anyone hasn't been watching videos in the past, she's getting discharged Friday because insurance will not cover past that, and she's doing much better. But I also am really focused on changing my attitude because yesterday I let fear kick in and I became quite defensive on the phone and just in my mind, like, here we go again. And I'm turning that around here and now. Every day I do like an exercise in my Course in Miracles, and I don't want to sound preachy, but it's been letting go of grievances. You get what you think about type of thing. And again, this sounds like toxic positivity or whatever, but I don't know. To me, it makes sense. And I'm always defensive and expecting the worst on these discharge meetings. I'm so tired of being afraid. I'm going to try my best to let go of all grievances instead of focusing on this broken system, which I've talked about a lot. The more I talk about it being broken, it's not going to change, right? What about the things that have worked in the system? So I just want to point that out because the hospital has kept her safe. I've formed a relationship with the providers somewhat. I think they are taking care of her to the best of their ability. They've got a lot of people to take care of. Anyone who's in that position has got to care because, let's face it, that is not a fun position to be in. Anybody who works in that unit is not having fun. Last night I did some meditation, and by meditation I mean I took a bath and I just quieted my mind and let the thoughts come. And I got a very strong sense that I need to sort of let go of trying to control this situation. And I need to trust that it will work out. And I need to stop seeing her in this box. She's not the diagnosis. And I'm so focused on the diagnosis. Once again, I want to treat her like she doesn't have an illness. I don't want to treat her like you would treat any of your children. But I want to be open and I want to trust her judgment and I want her to make her decision. That's what I'm really going to try to do. And it's a struggle because we're so used to fighting. And trying to let all that go is very challenging, but I really am going to try to do it. I want to try to be appreciative of everybody involved. I can sit here and worry about where she's living because I don't think they have enough staff. I don't think that they give her enough to do. I don't know how organized it. I can go on and on of all the things I've griped about. But instead, I want to think about it as where I'm happy she has a place to go. She has a warm place to go. She's able to talk to them about what bothers her. She's very, very capable of fighting for her needs. So why should I feel like I need to be in the background fighting extra when she's perfectly capable? And I think that's today's lesson, is let that shit go. All of your grievances, just let them float away and live in bliss. And it does sound like toxic positivity. I'm not saying put your head in the sand, but maybe I am. But I think what I'm saying is sometimes we create our own chaos. Sometimes when we expect the worst, it grows. That energy of expecting the worst grows. So how about just the here and now? She's safe here and now. She's got providers, which a lot of people don't. Instead of being fearful, I'm going to be grateful. So let go of the fear, embrace being grateful, and the meeting's coming up, so I've got to head off, but I plan to come back on and let you know how it goes. You can see that I'm in this blissful state, and we'll see how this works. I'm going to go in there with gratitude, and let's just see how this resolves itself. Okay, we just had the meeting, and I think it went pretty well. Unfortunately, it was through the phone, and I think I heard maybe half of what was said, maybe a little more than that, but I tried to mostly listen. I chimed in a bit, but her dad definitely is more of the talker. And I must say, everything he says is spot on. I think he speaks very well for her, so I have no problem with him taking the lead on that. I think it went well. They think she's doing much better. Again, with the medication that she's on, it seems to be working well. The psychiatrist says that she's finally accepting him, and I think they're finally bonding. She's trusting him a little more. So he says he feels they have a good relationship right now, which is very important. And the one thing I did stress was that she does very well if she feels like you are putting her interests first. I mean, that's pretty normal. But basically, having a relationship with her is very helpful. If she thinks you're the enemy, and again, that's pretty common, but sometimes I think I state the obvious. They talked about keeping her busier. We all agree that her having a schedule would be much better. So they're going to do something, I guess, at night. They're going to every night discuss what the plan is for the next day so that they have some sort of something scheduled rather than sleeping in all day. And that sounds all well and good, but when you really don't have anything to do, I don't know how that's going to work. But hey, I'm going to think, all right, they'll find some things for her to do. She has a primary. They'll try to get him to be more active with her, to do things, because I stressed she really needs to be active. And I said because she spends a lot of time up in her room, she'll stay in bed because she's depressed or whatever. And I said it would be helpful if staff would try to engage her, because if staff ask her to do something, she will likely do it. 9 times out of 10, she'll do it. But if they don't come in and ask, and the director said everywhere he's worked, he's found that staff really need to be trained on that. They really need to be pushed to engage. And I get it. I've worked in residential homes, and sometimes you don't feel like engaging. Sometimes you don't. So if they don't engage with you, you're not gonna. So I do understand that, but I think it is important to train staff to do that. So we'll see. It all sounded good. They're going to try to get somebody from the ACT team. They're making a referral because she really does have pain. She has fibromyalgia, and they're making a referral for physical therapy or pain management. Again, I couldn't really hear. It sounded kind of muffled, but everybody has her interests at heart, and I'm just gonna focus on that. She did not attend the meeting because she doesn't think that her dad and I should be involved, which is okay. They can probably meet with her separately. So yeah, she's being discharged on Friday, and today's Wednesday. So we'll see how it goes. There's really not much further we can do. Her dad asked about the insurance. If it was basically, were they refusing services that we thought that should be put in place, like, or were we just reporting that she's doing great and that's why they're refusing? And the psychiatrist chimed in and said they've been fighting them since the day after court. He said they've been very difficult. So in comparison to other insurances, sure enough, they have not been good to work with. So I reassured them that hopefully she doesn't go back in again, but if she does, I'm hoping she'll be on my insurance because I just applied for it yesterday, and we'll see. I mean, I don't imagine it's going to be much worse. So there's that. And I think it'll help because we're in the same state, and the insurance, she's insured in another state there. So I think that has a lot to do with it. That's where we're at. I did, at the end of the discussion, I told them all I really appreciated everything that every one of them has done, that I did apologize because I know I've let fear get in the way and that I have lashed out, but I wanted them to know that I sincerely appreciate all they're doing for her because I know their hands are tied as well. And that's where we're at. I'm not looking at it as a broken system right now. I'm going to look at it as a system that's doing the best they can with what they have. All right, so if anything else happens today, I'll let you know. Otherwise, I'll tune in tomorrow. Good afternoon. I spoke to the social worker at the hospital. My daughter is getting released tomorrow, and I still haven't spoken to her. I might try to call her this evening. It's funny, I get like anxiety about calling her because I just want to envision her as being healthy and I don't want to get yelled at, but she's getting out tomorrow and I hope she's excited about that. At least she gets to see the fresh air, feel the fresh air. It's not a whole lot to see, everything's pretty brown. But she's out for the holidays, so that's another whole thing to think about. I'm hoping she can spend it with me, but I don't know if she's going to want to or not. One can hope. So I've been really focused a lot on the Course in Miracles exercises that I do every day and the letting go of grievances. And I probably am harping on that too much, but it really does help to kind of release. Every time you think of something that bugs you or puts you in a bad mood, rubs you the wrong way, or somebody's talking to you and you're feeling annoyed, it's pretty easy to just let it go, like just to think of it as drifting off, like don't let it get to you. And maybe nothing so bad has happened that it's been easy to do that so far, but I gotta say, I feel pretty good, and it feels pretty good to just roll with it. And last night I kind of meditated before going to bed, and I was feeling very connected, definitely feeling positive vibes, and I was imagining my daughter with white light around her. And then I've got a friend who's going through a really upsetting breakup after 16 years, and I tried to envision the same about her and her being happy. And when I was in that really good state of mind, and I really felt like I was at my peak state of mind, feeling really good, thinking really positive thoughts. It's funny because my boyfriend actually, he's always snuggly, but like not usually after he's gone to bed. He had already gone to bed and gone to sleep, so I just kind of tiptoed in and laid down. But it's almost as though he felt my energy and was drawn to it, which I know it sounds weird, but I don't know. He like held my hand for like 5 minutes. It's like he just wanted to be touching me. He was still kind of asleep. That was the weird thing. So yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. Sometimes I think if we get into that peak state where we feel like we're light, you know, if we feel the inner light, we feel that inner sparkle, I think that other people kind of see that too, and they're drawn to it. So that's where I'm going with that. That's my story, and that's what I'm sticking to. But yeah, I had something going on at work today that had been giving me, I'd had a lot of anxiety about it. I don't know why. It was no big deal, but I mean, it wasn't really a big deal, but I let it go. Like, normally I would have probably been got myself riled up and nervous and thinking the worst was going to happen. And guess what? I did it. I let it float away. It was like, no, I don't care. Things are just going to work out the way they do. And it was perfectly fine. It was nothing at all for me to worry about. So, all right, gotta run in, but just thought I'd check in. Thanks.